Hello, welcome to the garden in the end of April. You might be thinking, this looks like a lie. There's snow on the roof of the greenhouse. This is probably early April, but no, it's actually almost May. But this is how it is. Living in Trondheim, you think it's spring and then it snows, so we just have to live with it. So I'm here for another April vlog. I've been feeling really inspired in April, and I think April is the most exciting time in the garden. And so I'm just taking advantage of this exciting time when every time I'm here things have changed drastically. So today I'm just here to check up on the plants. Things needed some watering because the past week has been quite warm. So I've been doing some watering, and now I'm going to be sowing some seeds. That means that the video I just posted with what I've sown in April is a lie, because now I'm sowing some more stuff in April. So the stuff I'm going to be sowing now is just a few flowers. So I'll show you now, so you still know, even though it's not included in my actual what I'm sowing in April video. So it's just some corn flowers and this zinnia, and then I also have two more, another type of cornflower and another type of zinnia and another type of cornflower, a purple. It's called black and mauve. So I'll be sowing them, and then I'll show you the things that have changed since last video. So a quick temperature check. Inside is, what's this, 5, 6, 7 degrees? That's there. And outside is 3 degrees. And my hands are cold. I'm not so experienced using this type of tray. Typically, when I've sown flowers previously, I've always had them in these little plastic storage boxes, see-through, and then I put them in smaller containers, like grape containers. Quite often, like here you can see I've used an old, this is for some Equilegi, so last year probably, and I used like this I think is from a tomato, cherry tomato. But then when I got the greenhouse, I also got some of these because I thought they would be very practical. But then, as it turns out, the trays for underneath that I ordered were too small for... Well, I think I ordered from 2 different places or something. Anyway, the size of the tray underneath it's not big enough for these. So I have like one tray that fits, and then it didn't work out as well as I had hoped because I had the wrong trays to have underneath here. But and then in addition, they take so much space, so I would just like broadcast the seeds in these grape containers, and that would work quite well. Then I would just split up the clump as soon as they had gotten strong enough to take it. So I don't know exactly how the best way to use these is, and I think but I think it'll probably help when there isn't so much mess in here, and then maybe I should invest in some proper trays for underneath, because I think that'll make it easier to actually use them. And I don't know how is the best way when I'm now, like when I'm sowing the cornflowers. Just putting one single seed in each plug would be a waste of space. So I think what I'll do is, and what I've done with some of the other flowers, is that I should just like sow a little cluster in each, I think that's the best bet. Now I've done like maybe 10 seeds on average per flag, some more, some less. Does that look good? What do you think? Please let me know if you have any experience, because I just don't know. I guess the advantage of using these trays instead of broadcasting them in a little tray is that I think this will be less wasteful, maybe, because when I broadcast them I usually use an entire packet, and then I think maybe they get a little bit too close together, and then I think I end up maybe wasting some plants eventually. But now I have like plenty of seeds left over, and I think I have enough flowers from this, so we'll see. We'll see what I think when I've gone through the process of planting them out after this. Now I'm doing the zinnia. This first one is a type called Old Mexico Mix. Maybe it has a description, let's see. Dark red. It says dark red with some yellow on the tips of the petals. So that sounds nice. I've never grown zinnia before, and then this year I decided that I should definitely grow some zinnia. I think it might be a flower I will enjoy. I love the annual flowers that are just like easy to sow, and especially I like the orange varieties. And I think there are a lot of orange zinnias. The reason I haven't grown it before is that I tend to prefer growing edible stuff. A little bit because I like the idea of being able to eat everything in the garden, but also because prior to getting this garden I was actually collaborating with kindergarten, where I would help them with their garden, and there, for safety reasons, everything had to be edible, or at least not poisonous, but I felt like it was better to just not take any chances, because when it says that a plant isn't poisonous, and then if the kid goes and eats it, I don't know if, like, I just didn't want to take any chances. And this very interestingly brightly colored variety. And look at this! It's looking very green, but I actually see that there's some stuff here that isn't spinach, so I'll have to do some weeding. But the spinach is looking very nice. And also I have, this is the edible chrysanthemum. This is like a, I mentioned it in my sewing video, it's a white, what's it called? It's white, but it's called something red hawk's beard or something. And this, I'm assuming, oh, there's a, whoops. I'm assuming, yeah, this looks like the same. the spinach is very easy to see there, and on this side there are some broccoli sprouts growing that you can also see it, but then in between here there's some dill, and all of this is, except for these flowers obviously, but all the spinach and the broccoli and the dill are things that I sowed in November. And then the dill is also growing. It's just, oh yeah, you can see it here, yeah. And so it's just more difficult to see, but all along here it's growing, and then there's some weeds. And then let's take a look at some of the things I've sown earlier in April and how that's going. This was sown the 8th of April, and the Swiss chard is growing. It's a little bit there, you can see. And then this red, that's also Swiss chard. And here is the pak choi, also growing very happily. This is the mix of lots of expiring brassica seeds. There's lots of little sprouts peeking up, some purple and some green, so I'm happy about that. And then next to here is the peas. There are some there. Then next to all of that, I've put these because I think it's warmer on the ground here than hanging up in the air over on the shelf. So here's some more Swiss chard that's growing. And then there's some marigolds here that I can't see any growth yet, but I think they tend to be a bit slower, so I think that's normal. And then also some this is the edible chrysanthemum again, and then the rest here are calendulas, and I don't see any growth there. These I sowed in the end of February, and so they might have... oh no, there's one that's growing there. I'm just worried that they may have gotten a little bit damaged by the frost. Here's the cosmos I've talked about before that I'm pretty certain this is damaged by the frost. So we'll see. They got a bit too wet. I think that was the problem, but we'll see if anything comes. And then here, this is on the 8th of April, and here this is growing very nicely. So that's, and this is calendula as well, so that's why I'm extra worried about these calendula, because these were sown before this one. So I think these might be dead. So I should maybe sow some more calendula to make up for not getting these. And then this is the pansy, no growth there yet. And these are the sugar snap peas, Martha, that I sowed the 8th of April. And they are growing, so that's nice. They started growing very fast. And then over here I have some cornflower that's sprouting. This is from February as well, so they did well. So I think, and then here's some lamb's lettuce that isn't sprouting, whereas some lamb's lettuce over there is sprouting, so I think this is also damaged by the frost because I had overwatered it. And this is also more calendula that from February that isn't sprouting, so I think this is probably dead. This here is what wasn't overwatered, and this was sown on the same day, I think. So I think definitely it's just because they got too much water and then the frost came and froze it all, and then the seeds died. So I think just really not overwatering early in the season is kind of the takeaway message. Here's another one of the February annual flowers growing very nicely. And then the broad beans haven't come up yet. It's snowing or raining outside, so I don't really want to do a lot of filming there, plus the snow, yeah, it's snowing. The snow is covering everything, so there's not so much to see outside, but we can do a really quick round just to see how it looks, just for the record. Okay, so there's the lake, and here's the perennial flower bed recovered by snow, and here, so I had a friend over and we dug all of this, so you can sort of see the beds are coming out from the snow, but then they've been recovered now by a fresh layer of snow. So I tried to dig a hole there so that would be melting, and this is almost completely gone, but there used to be a big this was the original hole I dug that I showed on the last vlog, and then this I covered with a fence because I put lots of leaves there during the fall. I'm getting covered by snow. There's the greenhouse. And this has also melted pretty much, but then of course new snow. But I think the new snow will melt very fast. But there's some old plants I need to clean out from last year, and these need some more time to melt. Oh, I really want to go to the lower garden, but I don't want to get snow on the camera. I can maybe... Okay, I'm making kind of a jacket tent to hide the camera. Let's go. Try not to slip. Oh, I can see some plants. First of all, can we see any frogs? I can totally understand if they feel like hiding for the day. I can't see anything. Look at this! I looked up the English name. It's called Ramson or wild garlic. I guessed wild garlic. Oh, that's so nice! Look at that! It must have been growing like under the snow. That's insane. Because this was definitely like, does it start growing in the fall? How has it gotten this big? And there's a flower coming up and everything. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, the snow, it can probably take the snow, I'm assuming. But that's just so wonderful. Okay, and then the other stuff I have growing here is the rhubarb, and there's some beautiful rhubarb poking out. And there's some rhubarb, and there's some rhubarb. Pink under there, and there's some rhubarb there, and there. And there's some, there might be some here as well, but I don't want to, oh yeah. But I don't want to take the snow off because it might protect them if it gets really cold tonight. And then this over here, I have some flowers, but I'm not going to start digging. Oh, maybe I'll dig a little bit. What's this? Is this one of the, like, digitalis? What's that in? It's like the tall one with a bell on it. Do they grow like 2 years? I don't know. Okay, we'll see. There's some rhubarb there, but that's just really tiny. But here is this rhubarb, that's so beautiful. Oh, but that Ramson is especially, that's so, look at that! Green, it's so green. It's so green. And it's just growing in the snow. That's amazing. I think this is a great spot for it. I think it'll grow really well here. I think maybe I'll even buy some more plants if I can find them this year, because I think it would be so cool if they just grew all over this slope here. Okay, I think that's enough for today. We'll go back in the greenhouse. Okay, that's enough, I think, for now. I think it would be more interesting looking around the garden if there wasn't fresh snow everywhere, but that's just how it is. And I'm sure this won't be the last snow for this spring either. But on the bright side, I don't think the snow will last, and it looks like there had been a lot of melting here in the front before it snowed. So I think as soon as this snow melts, I think I can start taking up the Jerusalem artichokes and start preparing the soil for plants. So hopefully by next vlog you can see some actual dirt, so that'll be exciting. Again, thank you for joining me, and see you when it's not snowing anymore.